Carlo Ancelotti asked his players to do one thing to complete the comeback: go for as many crosses inside the box as possible, and that's what Real Madrid did for the last 10 minutes of the game. They pushed in multiple players inside the box and depended on the poor marking from Man City inside the penalty area, which was also visible in the first half. Hello there everyone, it is Mitsu here and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we will have an in-depth analysis of the second leg of the Champions League semi-final between Real Madrid and Man City. Just like the first leg, both teams started with 4-3-3 on paper. Real Madrid started the game offensively and applied high pressure from the first seconds. Obviously, Man City had to overcome the first couple of minutes to be able to start applying their plans and force Real Madrid to lower this high pressure. Carlo Ancelotti wanted to disturb the opposition as much as possible while building up. However, when Man City were able to counter this high pressure, we saw a very low block from Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti concentrated on keeping the defensive and midfield lines very compact in response to what we discussed in the first leg. In this example, you can see how Foden was forced to move out of position in order to receive the ball. Having a very low block welcomed some attacks from Man City, but Courtois was able to pull some crucial saves to keep Madrid's hopes. They had similar defensive problems to what we saw in the previous game. You can see how the defenders were looking at De Bruyne only here. Carlo Ancelotti also tried to fix the build-up problem that we discussed in the previous video by having this defensive link-up after intercepting the balls. Real Madrid seemed to have a systematic way in attacking. They always seemed to switch the play to the right side to counter the zonal defensive system from Man City, and then concentrate on the forward runs in the half spaces after stretching the defensive line. Man City had serious problems in marking those runs and keeping an eye on the off-the-ball movements from Benzema inside the box. Luka Modric and Valverde had the responsibility of performing those forward runs. After completing this, they always tried to cross the ball inside the box. When they didn't have a chance of performing any forward runs, Carvajal would directly cross the ball to Benzema inside the box. Man City again had problems with clearing those crosses. Both teams seemed to create some danger after winning the second balls around the penalty areas. Valverde and Benzema for Real Madrid and Gabriel Jesus and Foden for Man City. We saw both teams go for long balls in response to the high pressure. During the first half, and just like the first leg, Luka Modric was always away from the midfield areas. Guardiola didn't seem to apply as much high pressure as usual. Moving to the second half, and right from kickoff, Real Madrid pulled this amazing build-up play with 3 short passes, giving enough time to the players to sprint behind the defensive line. And then one accurate long ball to Carvajal on the wing. The centre-backs were not able to catch up, leaving Kyle Walker in a 2 vs 1 situation, but Vinicius Jr. was not able to convert it. Guardiola seemed to request his players to start the second half with more high pressure. Real Madrid were forced to play even more long balls and did not have a chance to build the attacks on the ground. Man City used this 4-4-2 during the defensive phase. Carlo Ancelotti had to get the most out of the transitions in order to respond to the high pressure and force Guardiola to settle down and lower the high defensive block. Real Madrid actually performed some good counter-attacks, but one thing was in common, and it was the bad final touch from Vinicius. Real Madrid always seemed to have a good amount of players in the final third, although they were not attacking by numbers in the first couple of minutes of the second half. But the quick transitions made up for that. Before we continue, I wanted to remind you guys that you can get 50% off on any subscription of your choice at the Econo Coaches Academy by using the code MITSUGR from the link in the description. If you want to take your game to the next level, the coaches at the Econo Academy will serve you right, with online webinars discussing a range of different tactical topics, weekly secrets, training drills, and match tactical analysis. You will notice huge improvements as a player or even as a coach. As usual, you will be receiving your first 15 days for free, during which you can access up to 2 hours worth of tactical videos. Remember that you can cancel at any time during the free period, so sign up right now from the link in the description. Carlo Ancelotti started giving more freedom to his players and the team started moving forward in an attempt to apply more high pressure and force mistakes in the build-ups. Man City were forced to lose possession sometimes. Guardiola had to respond quickly and subbed in Gundogan and Zinchenko for De Bruyne and Kyle Walker. Right after the substitution, both players had a direct impact in the goal, as they were able to help Man City counter the continuous high pressure by getting out with the ball on the ground, and delivering the ball to Bernardo Silva, who took the most out of the spaces that were created, before passing the ball to Riyad Mahrez after pulling the attention away from him. After the goal, Pep Guardiola wanted his players to apply high pressure in order to win this mental battle and stop Madrid from coming back and scoring an early goal. He kept his 4-4-2 shape and forced Real Madrid to stay in their own half with negative possession. Carlo Ancelotti had to respond quickly and subbed in Asensio and Camavinga. Camavinga had clear responsibilities. He was playing very deep between the centre backs while building the attacks. Carlo Ancelotti wanted to avoid getting in midfield battles, so Camavinga was responsible to switch the play every time he had the chance to do so. By switching the play so many times, Ancelotti was trying to break the zonal defensive system. Camavinga would also go for lob-through balls behind the defensive line sometimes. On the other hand, Guardiola was keeping a high defensive line, and the team tried to kill the rhythm whenever they have the ball. Jack Grealish was very close to double the lead as well. Carlo Ancelotti asked his players to do one thing to complete the comeback: go for as many crosses inside the box as possible, and that's what Real Madrid did for the last 10 minutes of the game. They pushed in multiple players inside the box and depended on the poor marking from Man City inside the penalty area, which was also visible in the first half. But with more players inside the box, repeated crossing attempts, and high pressure to win the ball back every time, Real Madrid were able to score not only one goal, but two, and they were able to complete the remontada. You can see how the two goals were very similar in the sense that it's really rare to see Pep Guardiola's side keeping 10 players behind the ball. It makes sense because of the timing and the score, but we saw the mistakes happening in the marking of the attackers inside the box. It should also be noted that both goals were scored by Rodrigo, not a centre back winning an aerial duel from Ruben Diaz or Aymeric Laporte, for example. Moving to the extra time. Madrid were mentally on top, of course, and started the extra time with a high block. And from the very first attack, Manchester City's defensive problems were seen again and Madrid won their penalty. Real Madrid concentrated on keeping Manchester City outside the defensive block. Pep Guardiola seemed to have little to no options after the substitutions he made to secure the win in the second half. After more than 90 minutes, the mental status plays a big part when the stamina is very low for both teams, and Real Madrid were winning mentally. Carlo Ancelotti knew that he should not keep a very low defensive block and wait for Man City to attack, so he kept a medium block with this medium pressure. So that was it, guys. Overall, it was another great game and a Champions League classic. This leaves us with yet another great game in the final between Liverpool and Real Madrid. I'll be uploading a tactical preview before the game, so stay tuned for that. And do not forget to watch the analysis of the first leg if you haven't already. You can watch it by clicking on the screen right now. So anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.